Thomas à Kempis. Whensoever a man desireth anything inordinately, he is forthwith disquieted in himself. The unfamiliar word inordinately means excessively or disproportionately. In other words, à Kempis was saying, whenever a man wants something excessively, he loses his inner peace. He's disturbed. Wanting something so much that we can't rest until it's ours. The harm isn't really in our strength of feeling, but in the fact that our peace depends upon it being fulfilled. The attitude of Esther is instructive. She wanted her Jewish people to be saved from the pending Holocaust that Haman was threatening. But her peace didn't depend upon it. Mordecai, her relative, had persuaded her that it was probably her God-given destiny to be instrumental in their salvation. She accepted this possibility, but her peace didn't depend upon her success. How easy for her to become agitated and to begin to pray in a demanding way. Instead, she said that she would approach the awesome presence of the king, adding, "If I die, I die." Chapter 4, verse 16. She was capable of detachment, to desire something, but to be detached from it. Julian of Norwich would pray, "Teach me to care and not to care. Teach me to sit still." And Thomas à Kempis underlines this important skill to learn if we are to make spiritual progress. We often hear the teaching that Elijah called down fire from heaven on Mount Carmel. But he didn't. This is not what the Bible says. He prayed earnestly, content to leave it to God to decide what to do. He was detached, and his peace remained intact. Love doesn't insist on its own way, neither does trust. Judaism teaches that God is able to speak to a heart at rest. A quiet heart is a listening heart. When we desire something inordinately, excessively, even if it's something honourable and worthy, we forfeit our peace of mind and we cannot hear God. At the very time when we need to hear him, there's simply too much anxious static. We can even desire somebody's salvation inordinately, excessively. The stronger our desire, the more imperative is it that we learn to sit still. Teach us to care and not to care. Teach us to sit still. The Bible gives us the eternal image of a Jesus fast asleep in the stern of a small fishing boat, bobbing around like a cork on the stormy waves of the Sea of Galilee. What a picture that is. Whilst the disciples fall over one another in their fears. The humble trust and childlike rest of Jesus is a skill worth acquiring. Spend time with him because it's contagious. He constantly wanted to save, to heal, to help. But in all his wanting, he could say, "Let him who has ears to hear, hear." And when he sent the disciples on a mission, he told them to bring blessings of peace wherever they went. But if their blessings of peace were rejected, to let their peace come back to them. They were to care, you see, and not to care. They were to sit still, even if a storm was raging. It isn't necessarily wrong to strongly desire something, particularly if I can find scriptures to justify my desire, but it's what I do with that longing. God is greater than it all. He wants the good more than we can ever imagine, but he remains seated, and so should we. Have no anxiety about anything. Philippians 4:6. Have no anxiety about anything. You know that you've learned the lesson well when you not only submit to God's will, but you submit cheerfully. There's a world of difference between the two. By the way, I've wondered what Jesus was dreaming of in the stern of that storm-tossed boat.